Are you satisfied with your understanding of sustainability? If not, like me, imagine a journey together, a pluralistic one, with innovators, startup, academia, NGO, all together looking for solution to the greatest challenge of our time. I'm Samuele Ettini, and this is the Sustainability Journey. So we have arrived to another episode of the podcast, and today we want to interview an innovative startup, a startup that is trying to fight fast furniture. You know, in the home interior is one of the, and the building industry is one of the biggest consumer of resources in art. If you see the circular economy report of 2021, we have seen that housing consumes almost 50% of minerals, and is a very big responsible for emissions. We want to understand now from our guest how they want to fight that. And I'm very pleased to welcome Marieke Kamphuis.
Thank you.
Marieke, what is your story and what is your call for sustainability?
We founded The Substitute. It's in the Netherlands. Maybe that's also good to tell the listeners. We're located in the Netherlands and we founded The Substitute, and we are a platform and community for the sustainable alternative in interior decoration and redecoration. We're fighting fast furniture because it's a big problem. It's something that a lot of people don't think about. I think in the last years, especially in the Netherlands, but I think worldwide, you see that there's way more attention for the fast fashion problem. And also people are looking into what they're consuming, what they're eating, where it comes from. When it comes to their interior, they're not thinking about where it comes from, who made the stuff in their houses. A lot of the same problems arise in the furniture sector as they are present in the fashion sector. So we're fighting that with The Substitute, and that's something we're really passionate about.
Wonderful. So what is your background? Have you always been there, or is it something that you realized?
No, not at all. I started my career actually. I finished international business studies actually, and then I started my career as a corporate management trainee at a bank, a Dutch bank, Rabobank. Been working in wholesale banking actually around 6 years. So I did something really different actually. When I was working there, I really missed having a purpose and making impact, both in my role, because you're just a small player in a big corporation. And we were working with a lot of big customers, worldwide customers, but yeah, the impact you have as a person is not that big. And I also missed the fact, working on a purpose or doing something for the earth. That's better than just providing money to corporations that, were not always that thoughtful of how they handled the earth and their impact on it. After a couple of years, I decided to quit. And then I sort of enrolled in the crowdfunding sector, actually, only for companies that made an impact, sustainable companies. One Planet Crowd, it was really nice. I think that was in the beginning years of crowdfunding, which was really small at that time. I think Kickstarter just launched, and you saw in the Netherlands also some new platforms arising that also provided more loans and convertible loans and things like that. I was a commercial director there, so it was a startup. When I started, we were with 4 people. When I left, I think we were with 12 or something. I think that was really nice. I met so many great entrepreneurs that had solutions for all the problems we face as society at the moment. So I really love working with them and see how we could get funding so their great ideas could come to life. And when I was younger, I always wanted to be an interior decorator. I think I did some courses on that, but I don't think I'm an interior decorator in my heart, or how do you say it? I don't think I'm a real interior decorator, but I really like the topic and I like nice stuff and beautiful surroundings and things like that. So I worked as a freelancer and did some courses on interior decoration, and I started an interior blog also on sustainability, because I saw that there was a lot of information I was looking into myself. I was moving to a more sustainable lifestyle myself, so I was really reading into things on fashion and food, but I couldn't find anything on interiors.
So Marieke, you have really struggled to find your ikigai, your passion, your really the sense of purpose and what you really like, the interior designing, and how The Substitute came into light. How you managed to get your ikigai?
I started this blog also on sustainable interior decoration because I saw that there was like cool startups providing solutions already and cool furniture that was sustainably made. But on the other hand, a lot of consumers didn't know they existed. And then I met my business partner, Machteld, and she had the idea of the first sustainable living fair in the Netherlands to organize that one. And I thought it was a really cool idea because it's even better than a blog, because a blog is just on paper and on the internet, but this was in real life. So we connected and we had a very good click. I think we were really lucky to meet each other. We are both really have very different backgrounds. She's a creative director, has a background in working with internet platforms and UX, while I came from the financial side and the business development side. So it really works together. I think this was in June or something, 2019. We started organizing the fair. It was really challenging. I think we only had 4 months because the fair was in September. We had 4 months to organize it, but we managed to get like 40 really cool companies to bring them together. We had like 1,200 visitors or something of the first fair. That was really nice. And we saw that there was like automatically a community feeling, or people really link. Everybody has the same purpose. So people connected from the different companies and people started working together and exchanging information. And so we thought we should do more with it, like not only organize a fair, but have something all year round to help people work together. I mean, it's a big challenge. I think the same goes for every sector, fast fashion, food. I think we live in such a complex world at the moment with like production change, with all different players, and it's difficult to get a grip on all these steps in your production process. So I think it's really good to exchange knowledge on these topics and help each other out, because it's most of the companies in the interior sector or the furniture sector are really small and medium enterprises. I think 80% consists of less than 10 people working there. So that's different than the fashion industry, where you have like all these big global players like Zara, H&M. But furniture, you've got IKEA, but then you've got a lot of local players, smaller players. So we thought we should do more with it, and which was a good idea because then Corona came, I think. So physical fairs, we didn't have any last year. So we hope we have the next sustainable living fair in November again, this November. That would be great. But at the same time, we built this internet platform and community. So that's where we're at right now. So we've got the platform is live with the first smaller and bigger companies. And now we're working on growing the community and also building a network and knowledge organization. That's what we're working on right now, of companies that we connect them so they can go to the same client, or they can help out a client. Like we were approached by a holiday park that wanted to redecorate their houses in a sustainable way. Well, they need a couch and they need paint and they need a floor. So we try to get all these companies working together and then provide them with a one-stop solution, actually. What makes us unique, I think that's maybe nice to tell as well, is that we work for according to the SUB method. We develop it ourselves, and it stands for save, use, and buy. So we're not only working with sustainable new products, but we also work with secondhand and repair and save part, because that's the most sustainable part. So we not only work with sustainable new companies, we also connect like secondhand shops, thrift shops, upholsters, furniture makers, things like that. And we also combine it with the use, like the new business models that arise, like not paying for possession, but pay for usage of the stuff you have. Like, for example, children's rooms or baby stuff, you only need it for a couple of months. Why do you need to buy all of this? You can better maybe rent it or lease it or things like that. That's quite unique.
That is unique. I think you have put together the three type of in your business model. Then we can go deeper on it. You have the recycle one in the save, which making people to get second-hand furniture to reuse what they have. So they have also the servitization. So if you cannot reuse, you rent it out. And the third one, you connect with the local artisans and people to buy, but that they can put in a sustainable way.
Yeah, and connect that again to the safe part. So then the whole circle is round again. So if you have to sustain the new sustainable products at the end of life, we also want to connect them again, or also stimulate them to also go in the reuse or in the safe, also do something with the safe part, actually, not only making new sustainable products, but also think of new business models by making it modular or easy to repair. Or, I mean, it all starts with the design, how you design your stuff, then it becomes easier to reuse in the end.
Very incredible, very nice. Since you are an expert now in interior design, which is the main underlying problem with our model that is currently in use? And how have you seen the impact of your startup, the substitute, to tackle that?
I think with most of the stuff we have right now, we consume so much. I mean, not that long ago, I think the furniture sector was still quite sustainable in itself. People bought some furniture when they got married, or they got some furniture, and then they stick to the same couch or table or chairs for the rest of their lifetime, sort of. But with, I don't know, our consumerism and the way our consumption patterns changed, yeah, we really use all this stuff only for a very short time. I think, like in fashion, you see it really well. It's even going, yeah, I mean, the fast fashion change are changing their collection every week. That's terrible. But in furniture, you saw the same trend, like also with IKEA. IKEA came with design for the masses, which was really cool. I think that's still, they made it a new furniture really affordable and available for a big group of people. But with that, we also changed how often we change the interior or our houses. In general, we change it every 7 years, which is quite quick as well. And that's the impact you see. And also because of the higher prices and everything, like Europe was really a continent, yeah, really a furniture continent. We have a lot of stuff. We have wood, we've got leather in Italy, we've got a lot of good design schools also. There's a lot of knowledge here, but we shifted our production, most of our production, to China and Asia, with all the problems that we have there. Also that, like child labor or forced labor. We changed it, like pollution. There was just a report released in the Netherlands also it was on the textile companies, but also IKEA was mentioned, like they were having some production there in India, where the people working there were not really working didn't have good circumstances of working there. Actually, we've got the same problem, and it's I don't know, in the Netherlands we have got it's also called a lot of, it's hidden impact. We don't see it anymore, so we don't have the attachment anymore to where a product comes from, who made the product, how it's made, or what are the issues that arise with that. And we throw away like around 11 million tons of furniture every year only in the EU. And all this furniture, only 10% of this furniture at the moment is recycled. And all this furniture ends up in landfill or is incinerated, with all the problems and the CO2 impact. Our main mission is to accelerate the sustainability transition in the sector. We hope we can reduce this number of furniture we throw away, because a lot of furniture is perfectly fine for reuse if it's from wood, or if it's designed in a different way.
Wow, so you really try to tackle the recycle and reuse, framing it with SDG, but also the social part with the social consequences of our purchase, especially what you mentioned, and really also extending the life cycle of and reusing the material and also using sustainable materials. It's really incredible what you said, 11 million ton, it's really, and 90% going to the landfill. It's shocking. It's really a real mission.
Yeah, and we try to do it in two ways. Like on the one hand, we target the companies themselves, and we help them with their production methods. So now we ask by a big furniture company in the Netherlands to look into their production, to look into their chain of production and see what's the impact right now and how they could improve it. So that's really cool. So we're looking into the production side and one part. And on the other hand, we want to change consumer patterns and help people make sustainable choices in an easy way and show them that it's beautiful and easy. And that's what we do with the sub method, like with the save, use, and buy. We want to make it easy for people to find all these small companies and make better choices.
Let me ask you now, how do you make money? Because also we need to get the financial bit. You have the purpose, but as a startup, as a businesswoman, what is your financial model?
Yeah, we've got three different activities, we say. One is the community itself. So people that are part of the community pay a membership fee, 365 euros per year, €1 per day. We really aimed at keeping a membership fee as low as possible because there are a lot of small companies also active and a lot of startups, innovative young companies also active in the market. They don't have that much money to put in marketing. And so we keep this as low as possible. And we combine it with some partnerships, launching partners, some bigger companies, like, for example, Blue Movement, as Air Insurance. There are bigger companies in the Netherlands that support our movement. Blue Movement is a use concept of, they started first from Bosch, from the washing machines and dishwashers and things like that. So they developed a lease concept. And as Air Insurance is a company that's really looking into if you have damage on your floor, for example, and normally they change the whole floor, but it's just necessary because it's not really sustainable. Maybe you can just only repair a certain part and then you've got the same idea. So they're all bigger companies that support our movement. And so that's the one part, the membership part of the community and the platform. We organize events, of which the Sustainable Living Fair in itself is the biggest one. So then we just, like a regular fair, you sell your little shops and people pay a small fee to enter the fair. And the third part we're now really building is more the Knowledge Institute. And then we're looking into developing educational programs or programs that help the not sustainable furniture sector or just the regular sector, that will help them become more sustainable. So we really take the knowledge and innovation power of our community and connect it to the bigger companies that want to make a change. So we're developing some one-on-one coaching and some one-on-one consultancy trajectories, but we also look into getting more data. It's really difficult. We don't have a lot of impact data yet in the sector. Like, I know that we have this 11 million tons that we throw away, like only 10% is recycled. But what we don't know yet is, like, if you have a couch, you have got the foam, you've got wood, you've got fabrics, like what's the impact of all the different materials? And like for clothing, you have more insights already in, like, if your shirt is made of cotton or linen, but it's only one fabric. Like in furniture, it's quite complex because you've got a lot of different products which are made mostly of more than one material. So what's the impact of all these materials? That's something that we don't know yet. That information is not yet that widely available. So that's the first thing we're working on, like get this data, get the right data that's independently sourced, though, to get that and to turn that into something people can work with. Like, okay, if I buy my cabinet in the Netherlands, the impact is way less than when I buy it in China, but the same goes when it's made from steel or from wood. So people just need to know what choices they have and how they can make better choices.
Perfect. So you have a community part, you have the collaboration with the enterprises, you have the traditional fair, and you have the new, let us put it, data and also evaluation of impact. Are you going also to do the labeling maybe of furniture, as is done maybe in some industry and some startups? I was reading about maybe electrical part.
What do you mean with the labeling? Like with
like for the customers to put and for me to choose, and as a more sustainable furniture or no with your data?
At the moment, we're focusing on maximum transparency, because it's really difficult, because you could work with life cycle analysis and things like that, but it's really aimed at one product in one chain, for one company most of the time. So it's not that interchangeable. And it's really expensive for most companies, smaller companies, to do a life cycle analysis like that. And I always have but that's my personal opinion. It's more like you've got these, how do you call them? Like indeed these labelings, or like they say, this is approved. It's also very expensive to have like an organization in place that checks this and validates it. And still a lot goes wrong with all these stamps people get. So me, myself, I'm a big fan of being maximum transparent at this stage, because it also helps in learning from each other. Like we talk to a lot of companies that are making progress in the sustainability side of their business, but don't dare to tell anything about it because they're afraid like the consumers would misjudge it. While we really stimulate that people are open on what works well already and what's still a big challenge. I mean, there are still so many challenges we have to tackle as an industry. Let's be open about it and let's see if we can work together or work something out instead of being afraid of being judged that something doesn't, because a lot of times people really thought about it, but the adhesive or coating or something is not good enough yet. Even if it's natural, it's not good enough yet. You have to buy new furniture way quicker than when you use the old stuff that's maybe less sustainable, but it might be better for in the long run to still use that until we find a good solution for the other natural substitutes.
That is interesting. You have an incremental view, and then from there you can also helping the industry to change, in a slowly, but also with what you say, maximum transparency in what they are doing. Let me ask you one thing. Do you have any story of your impact so far?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that our impact is now seeing the community, seeing it all together. Like on the platform in itself, you can see that there's secondhand people that are selling secondhand, but also selling used concepts and sustainable new products. And we had a very nice launching event actually, which was all online, of course. But we saw that a lot of people already work together. So the impact was, it's more on partnerships that arise and people learning from each other. A lot of, like Blue Movement was telling about their lease concept. So a lot of the companies present wanted to learn more about that. We had Umeco, which is a very big company in sustainable bedding in the Netherlands. It started out small, but it's really a scale up now. It's really reaching for the masses. It's a really good example for a lot of the smaller companies to see how they did that and what are the challenges and learn from each other. And yeah, we had people, like somebody was working in a hotel chain and they needed more different products. So she was going around like, oh, I think you have a very cool product. Would you join us as well? And can we talk? And what's really nice, we also, and I didn't tell it yet, but in our community, we also work together with the interior professionals. So the stylists and interior decorators and architects. They're also part of the community because we believe they're the chain between the consumers and the brands. So we saw a lot of nice partnerships arise there as well. But the first thing we're working on right now is getting the concept of fast furniture on the agenda. And we did a lot of press and we're still working on that, like getting people to know the concept of fast furniture and make people aware of the fact that also in your interior, you have to pay attention or who made your product, what materials made, things like that. Yeah.
Wow, so you are an enabler and a transformation enabler for the panorama of the home interior and renovation in industry in the Netherlands.
That's what we want to be, at least. That's what that's what we're working on. We now made an infographic with one of our interns. Infographic, and we're going to launch it quickly in the coming weeks, I think. Also on fast furniture. That's the first step. We have to work on knowledge first and then get people to know the concept.
Which I think is often overlooked and not really mainstream. In your journey as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as a champion of sustainability, which are the lessons learned that you want to share? What are the challenges and that you have encountered?
Oh, yeah, a lot of challenges. I think it's an easy job to start a new company. I think it goes with a lot of highs and lows. The most important thing is if you believe that you have a good idea and if you believe you can make an impact, you should go for it and trust your gut feeling in that. That really helps. And I still know that when we just started with the fair, we only had like 4 months of organizing it, which was also in the middle of the summer holidays in the Netherlands. So a lot of companies were not, like decisions weren't made or things like that. And I know we had one point that we had to decide, are we going to make it? Are we not going to make it, the fair? Are we going to go for it? And then I still know I had such a strong gut feeling like this should happen. And Machteld had the same. We both had that strong gut feeling of like, we have to make this happen. And then you have to jump, just go for it. I think that's the main lesson. And you need it also. I mean, we were working now for almost 2 years already on this, and we just start now to make some money. Actually, in the beginning, it's a lot of investment of your time, energy, money to get it started. Yeah, and you need to believe in it, otherwise you can't go on. And you need to really like it as well. I mean, you sacrifice quite some. Like when I was a banker, I had a very different income that I have right now. Like, for example, it was really different. But also in like your time, yeah, we were just discussing, I was still working a little bit while being pregnant and actually being on maternity leave just to finish something up. So you invest a lot. So you really have to believe in it and like it to make it happen.
Wow. So it's really a combination of passion, a combination also of grit, to be able to overcome the obstacles and really like what you're doing. And also the gut feeling that you want that, something that it is impossible until is not realized. So it's really the saying, it's really true. So you have done a wonderful thing.
And also know when something is not the thing you should. I mean, we also made a lot of choices that were, yeah, well, like with the fair, we never did that before. So it was quite challenging. I think we were still building up the fair while we already had a press round and things like that, because we had the wrong fabric that you couldn't use to decorate like the stands in the fair, things like that. So we had to change it. So you get a lot of challenges like you don't think of before you start, and you sort of have to like to tackle them. And also I'm quite a perfectionist, so I find this quite hard sometimes. I think my business partner is better in that, but you always have new challenges that you have to find solutions for.
When you talk with a smile and with passion, and you can see visualizing what you're doing. So you can see your passion transpiring from your word. It's an incredible statement that you are making, because it's a tough industry. It's not the easiest one.
No, not at all. It's also a very traditional industry. A lot of them are not even did like the digital transformation. A lot of the companies didn't even go into selling online, although they had to change last year. That I think Corona really made the difference in there. But it's quite a traditional industry that's not really open to change always. But well, they have to. I think a lot of legislation is changing right now as well. That they have to know better where their products come from and how it's made. But no, I like it a lot. What we're working on, and also I really like the companies we're working with because we're just an enabler. It's our community who's doing a lot of the stuff and who is trying out new materials and new business models, and we are just trying to shed a light on all these great ideas and connect them together to make it go faster.
Wonderful. That was a wonderful lesson. Tough industry, a woman, you are
Oh,
pregnant,
yes.
and congratulations for that. You have quitted a job that was high rewarding to follow your passion. A real incredible lesson. And I want also already to book yourself for a second episode, maybe in 1 year, to understand where you have reached and the impact you have done. So
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because we just started out with the impact, so it's still small, but it would be nice to do this in 1 year. I think it's really cool that this one, like bigger also, so some bigger companies that are already active in the furniture industry for a long time, that are approaching us to see, hey, can you help us out? So I think that's really cool that there's a need for what we're doing and people want to make an impact. I think if we can change some of these, like the impact is on the one hand like having these smaller companies grow, so people are more buying the sustainable alternative, the substitute, the sustainable alternative for the products they're buying right now. That's one of the impacts we make. But on the other hand, also the production of the bigger companies that are already providing furniture to the masses, if they change some stuff in their production model, then the impact is also really big. And if we can do those two things, I think I will be very happy in 1 year.
wonderful. Marieke, you have done a wonderful episode. I think it's great. And we thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for this interview. It was really nice.
Thank you, Marieke. Are you satisfied after this wonderful episode? In the next one, we will talk about reporting. Stay tuned!